Have you heard the news? Yes, I've just seen it and I'm shocked. Honestly, I cannot believe that in the European Union it's legal to extort a company. This is extortion. It's legal to do that, but it's illegal to not police every single comment on your platform. Yeah, this is double standards. In fact, this isn't double standards. This is insanity. France, you should be putting this guy in prison. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Healthy competition is one thing. France are clearly competing with Spain to get Tesla's next gigafactory. Clearly, this is a competition. Spain are the front runners. France are, well, saying, hang on a minute, what about us? But actually, if you don't choose us, we will simply ban Twitter in France. Now, they haven't outright said this, but it's very clear this is the implication in the comments from France's digital minister. Basically, Tesla, give the prize to us, or otherwise we're going to ban Twitter. Now, personally, I hate extortion of any kind. I hate politics, and I hate politicians even more after seeing these comments in France. I don't know how this is legal. I don't know how this kind of thing is just like, how this is morally okay. Now, I'm going to bite the hand that feeds me here. You guys know I make money from YouTube. They allow people to advertise on the videos here. And basically that's how I make a living, essentially. However, it needs to be said, YouTube is a much more prominent platform than Twitter. There's actually a lot more comments on YouTube than there are on Twitter. In fact, it's not even close. And there's a lot more hate speech on YouTube than there is on Twitter. I could make you a video in about 10 minutes showing you thousands of racist, hateful, misogynist, sexist, whatever you want to be, comments. And I'm not talking about necessarily black racism here. I'm talking about all kinds of racism. Probably the most prominent form of racism that I've personally seen on YouTube is anti-Semitism. It is rife. I'd say there's more than 50,000 anti-Semitic comments on YouTube. If you just did a quick search, you could find them very, very quickly and easily. So here my point is not to say YouTube should be banned. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, why is it that it is okay for France to target Twitter and to basically extort Tesla? Why is it okay when they don't actually recognize the fact that there is unfortunately hate speech and negative comments of this type on all social media platforms? All of them. All of them have it. Some of them worse than others. And I can tell you now, YouTube is far worse than Twitter. Far worse. It is not even remotely close. So here's the thing. The French minister is saying to Tesla, come here to France. We've set up all the infrastructure. We're manufacturing the batteries. We're doing all this and this. We want you to build a gigafactory here. This is in response to the reports that Tesla has agreed or is basically close to agreeing to a gigafactory in Spain. Now, France is saying, hang on a minute. No, we thought we were in with a shot here. What's going on? Here's what France's digital minister said. It will be great to have a Tesla factory in France. There's been a lot of effort and energy to make sure this is possible and this can happen, said Jean-Noel Barrot to CNBC within the last 24 hours. We've also invested in an entire sector of electric batteries. So we will try to convince Elon Musk that France is the best possible place in Europe to establish the next Tesla factory. This guy is high. He's high as a kite if he thinks that Tesla should somehow put batteries manufactured in France in their cars. Look, don't get me wrong. They make a small amount of batteries in France. It's a fraction of what's made in China, and they're far more expensive than what's in China. There's really no reason that Tesla would want to use batteries made in France, or that anyone else would for that matter, because it's expensive, and there's not enough of them. Nowhere near enough. If there was, well, we'd see French companies making massive numbers of EVs, and they're simply not doing that. This is just pure fanciful nonsense from France. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for France to take batteries and EVs 100% seriously, to go all in on them. They're not. It would be great if they did, but they're not. Now, I should point out that Musk actually met the president of France and the finance minister Bruno Le Maire on the 15th of May. And he said that he was confident back then that Tesla would make significant investments in France in the future, but he didn't give a timeline. And of course, it's all a bit of a game here, isn't it, to see who can get the best incentives. Basically, it's every company does this. They negotiate to try and get the best tax deals, best incentives in order to have the best chance of succeeding in that particular country. And I think Tesla's learned the hard way just how hard this can be. It's extremely hard to get things done in Europe. Europe is a nightmare of regulations, of red tape, of just like political grandstanding, of so-called environmental companies who protest against your factories and try to set them on fire. I mean, has this sort of thing happened in North America, in the US? No. I mean, yeah, a tiny little bit, but in comparison, nothing in comparison to the nightmare that Tesla has been through in Germany. And it has been a literal nightmare. I mean, I personally, if I was Tesla, would think very, very hard about building anything in Europe, considering all the shenanigans, the tomfoolery, the utter baloney Tesla and other companies have had to deal with. Not just Tesla, by the way. This is business. This is business as usual in Europe. You can see really here why companies are not investing significantly in Europe. You can see here why US investments, right? Even in the US, there's a lot of red tape, but it's still a lot easier than Germany, for example. You can really see why companies are now investing big time in North America, and they're eschewing Europe. And they're going, well, actually, North America is a bit easier to build factories in. Let's just go there. Musk will actually speak in Paris on Friday at the Viva Tech Summit. So by the time you're watching this video, he's probably already given a speech. One of France's flagship technology conferences where the government will have a large presence. Musk has been on the hunt for a new gigafactory location in Europe, in addition to the company's major car manufacturing plants already present in the US, Germany, China, and of course one being built in Mexico. Now the strange thing about all of this is that Barot or however you pronounce his name in French, sorry, I have no idea. He said, Musk is a great inventor, probably one of the greatest of the beginning of this century. Now, Musk is not really an inventor. He's really a genius marketer. He's more of a futurist, I think. He's more a capitalist. He's created businesses, but he doesn't really sit around inventing things. So maybe there's a little bit of a translation issue. This is what he said in English, so maybe he just doesn't quite understand the phrase inventor. I don't think Elon Musk is an inventor, but anyway, my point here is, listen, phenomenal that France wants a gigafactory. That's great. Great that Spain wants a gigafactory. Now, are they doing this because out of the goodwill of their hearts, they want to have EV factories and more EVs and batteries and solar panels? No, of course not. It's all about politics. And this whole concept that you can threaten a company with banning one side of their business if they don't actually accede to your demands to build a factory in your country, in my opinion, this is outright illegal. And I don't understand how the European Union is going to sit around and say, we're going to ban your platform if you don't do what we say. You don't say what we say. We want you to say on it. Now, there's, like I said, many platforms with people saying all kinds of things. That's just the way of the internet. We can't really, it's very, very hard to stop that. I think we just have to accept that people are going to have a difference of opinion. People are going to say insane things. But to sit back and say, that's all okay, but unless you build a gigafactory here, we'll simply ban you. That really got me worked up. So I'm extremely disappointed in French government that they can do this. They can sit around, make these kinds of insane kinds of statements. Here we go. There will be huge scrutiny by the EU Commission on the actions Twitter is going to take to meet these obligations. If Twitter fails to comply with these obligations, Twitter will face sanctions of up to 6% of global sales. In case those failures to comply are not corrected, they will face an obligation to leave the European Union. In the past couple of weeks, what we've seen is not reassuring as to the ability of Twitter to comply with these new rules, Barot said, specifying what aspects of Twitter policy are not reassuring. We don't know what he was commenting on. He didn't actually provide any examples of these comments or anything that Twitter had done that wasn't basically in line with what the European Union wants. I actually never use Twitter. Couldn't care less about Twitter. Now, we do post on Twitter for the channel, but to be honest, I've never been into Twitter. Couldn't care less. I really, really honestly don't care. Musk has got billions of dollars. Who cares? I just care about double standards, and I care about extortion. I think it's illegal, but let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you for watching.